Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an FV3805. It's a Tier 9 British SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Mountain Pass, and this one is under the command of ProvoBob, and that means he's on the Southeast Asia server, or rather the Australia server. Well, he's Australian. Anyway, game started. Well, I can tell from the gun barrel that that is the 7.2 inch howitzer. Yep, 900 alpha, counts as a 182.9 millimeters howitzer. He stopped just to ping the map a bit, I think. Yep. It's got a burst radius of 10 meters, and it takes 31.22 seconds to load a shell. It is quite a big shell. Now, they did actually build prototypes of the FV3805. Never actually got used as an Arty or built as a production line Arty. And you can see he's actually taking it up onto the bank at the back of the map. You get good firing positions from some of these places up here, and it's difficult to counter battery somebody if they're actually further away from the enemy cap area, which is over there. Okay, well, he's got sight of an SU-101, but he's got a red line, I'm afraid, and that's because the hill, the mountain, is in the way. This is Mountain Pass, and he can't hit that unit either because of the hill, because of the mountain, but he can hit that 65 ton. So he's aiming ahead of his path. It's a little over to one side, I think, there. Bob? Yep, well, he stunned him. The shell went long, and he missed the target, but oh well, give it another go. Looking around for another target to shoot at. Normally somebody comes down this way. 65 ton and Emil 2 have come down this way. We can't see them yet. He's looking for an enemy tracer now. There's presumably, oh, he just saw a tracer, and I think he's right. It's probably down there. It could be up on the hill. No, I think that went long, so he didn't get anything off that. But I think the tracer did come from just below the hill rather than actually from the bush. But there's normally somebody up on the hill. Okay, he's got a super conk. He can hit that guy. From the position he's in, he can actually loop the shell up over the mountain into that guy. And there's a Progetto 46. In fact, I go for the Progetto because he's got thinner armour than the Super Conk. Rounds out in the Super Conk. Direct hit, 316 hit points. Now that's a non-penetrating shot, but it's still hit points of damage. He's now having a look at that Progetto. Oh, and there was UDAs up there at the same time. I think the UDAs might have taken some of the splash that was meant for the Super Conk. He's almost loaded. Rounds in, rounds out, and oh, that one hit the rock face, just stunned the Super Conk, nothing else. That Progetto will make a much bigger bang, mainly because it's got thinner armour. And now we've got an IS-7's turned up. Oh, and they're facing off against the Malshan. They just hit it really hard. The IS-7 and the Super Conqueror have both got heavy armour, but the Progetto is fairly lightly armoured. And so the shell, if it did penetrate that one, would do a lot more damage. He's aiming for the Progetto this time. Rounds out, and oh, good hit on both the IS-7 and the Progetto. The shell hit the IS-7, but it splashed the Progetto at the same time. In fact, it looks like the Conqueror got hit as well with splash. Certainly was stunned. Okay, he's singled out the IS-7 this time. He's almost loaded. Unfortunately, our guys have pulled back a bit because after the Malshan got killed, he's fired a round at where he believes the IS-7 was, and he hit something because the shell disappeared without an explosion. So that's the indication that we've touched something. Direct hit on some target. Well, we're almost loaded again. And Bob's trying to indicate to them that they need to spot the target for him to shoot at it. Oh, there's the Progetto that we were shooting at earlier, and it was very low hit points. He's now gone to counter battery again. I think he's aiming for that bush, because there's normally a tank destroyer sitting up there in that bush. And something was in that bush. And we just saw a tracer again from the enemy Arty. I suspect there's an enemy Arty sitting up on top of that hill as well as down below. The Super Conk has been seen down on the ice road. And there's the T-49 as well. He's very low hit points. And yes, the Chieftain makes a short mess of him. So, Super Conk. And we're almost loaded. Work out where to put the shell. Rounds out. This should hit. Landed right in front of him for 399 hit points. That was a good shot. Picking up a nice bit of stun assist. Oh, the Waffenträger. Now that's got very thin armour. If he fires around at that, he'll more than likely penetrate it, and he could do considerable damage to it. Well worth shooting at thin-skinned vehicles. He fires around in. Direct hit! Oh, he definitely hit that guy. He would have severely damaged that Waffenträger. We'll have to wait until we see him to see how much damage he did, but I suspect he's probably virtually wiped him out, because normally when you hit a Waffenträger with a heavy, high caliber shell, they get virtually completely destroyed with one shot. He's loaded. He fires another round in, and this time round it explodes. So he knows that the Waffenträger's pulled away. In fact, we can see a Nudez sitting up on top of the hill. I think that was the Nudez we saw earlier in the game, actually, because he's got the same amount of damage. And there's that tracer again. Definitely coming from there. In fact, he might actually be up in those bushes there, but it's well worth firing a shot into those bushes, just in case he is there. Lands behind the bushes this time, just slightly to the right. You can see several other shells headed in that direction. The only enemy tank at the moment in sight was the Emil 2, but now we've got that IS-3, and there's the tracer again, and that one's definitely coming from up on top of the rise. He's in those bushes. And yep, ProvoBob's going to fire into that bush, see if he can find them. And he found someone. Something was in that bush, and I think it was the Arty. And there's another tracer outgoing. He's trying to work out where he needs to place that one. I think he's actually behind the bush now. I don't think he's there. There's the Udez in the bush. Same amount of hit points as before, so he wasn't the one that was hit by the blind shot by ProvoBob. That was close. Very close. And there's that tracer. And yes, the Arty is directly behind that bush. He's not in the bush, but he's actually only a few yards behind it. And Bob's aiming a little way back, but there's no doubt about it. It's a Batchat 155-55 is the one we're looking for. And I think he's just behind that bush. Not that one. No, you've aimed at the wrong one there, Bob. We're going to see the tracer for that Batchat very shortly, because he is out in the open just behind the bush. The Emil 2 is just coming to sight. He's backing up, but he's about to get hit by an Emil 1 who's behind him. Bob fires a round in, and nope, doesn't get anything from that. Well, the enemy Waffenträger's been spotted. Oh my god, he's missing virtually all of his hit points. He only had 60 left. So I think Bob has done severe damage to that guy. there goes the Emil 2. That means there's only 4 enemies left, facing 6 on our team. We've got an ISU 152. There's the Tracer again. It's that Batchat. He's out in the open. Unfortunately, that was a miss. No, he's not close enough to the spot. The ISU 152K. There's an IS3 and a Noobs 1450 and the Batchat 155.55. Bob's on the move now. I would have stayed where he was to take those last few shots. They found... Oh, there's the Batchat. Yes, you see behind the bush, not actually in the bush. And he stopped to take a shot. The Batchat's repositioned himself. He's dialing in. The Batchat's almost out of health. He's going in to do a bit more damage by ramming the enemy. And that's it. It's all over. So let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, second class tank of a ProvoBob in the FV3805. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 17. He got a Gore's medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. He got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates, and the win rate for that one was 3,997, which is Super Unicum standard. Now let's have a quick look at that Waffenträger. Yes, he actually knocked out his engine, ammo rack, fuel tank, radio, gun and loader with just 1 shot, and did 1,540 hit points of damage from a penetrating round. And we know that the alpha of this Arty is 900. So that kind of suggests that the shot not only hit and penetrated and did a high roll, but it also set fire to the vehicle, and the Waffenträger then subsequently burned until he only had 60 hit points left, and at that point they put the fire out and then he continued the battle. But that Waffenträger really took a pasting. 1,540, that's a huge hit. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see that the highest damage in the game was actually done by the T95 FV3805. He got 4,867 hit points of damage from that battle, and ProvoBob got only 4,582. So why did ProvoBob get the high caliber and the T95 FV3805 didn't? Probably because he fired on one of his own teammates. He got 6 kills in that game. So I suspect that one of his shots was actually fired at one of his own teammates, and that disqualified him from the high caliber, and it went to ProvoBob instead. When it came to kills, it was in fact that chieftain who managed to do the best with 6 kills, 3 kills for the Barask, 2 kills for the IS-7 and the ELC Evan Steve 90. And yes, I know, we carry on that joke. We call it the Steve 90 because he does so many meme games in it. And 3 kills to the Emil 2 on the enemy team. And 2 kills to their Super Conk and their UDES 1415 and their SU 101. When it came to base XP though, it was the chieftain again with 1,162, 1,035 to the Barask and 911 to ProvoBob. He fired 17 rounds, got 5 direct hits, 2 penetrations and 13 splash. Damage of 4,582 hit points, of which all of it was at more than 300 meters. He damaged 7 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, but he did get 425 hit points of stun assist of 15 stuns. On a free-to-play account, not a premium account, he earned 41,848 credits, and after ammunition resupply took away 10,738 credits. He received 7 bonds for the battle and 911 base XP, and there was no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he took away. So a pretty incredible battle when it comes to that Waffenträger alone. The poor guy must have taken that round and must have felt absolutely awful at having such a high hit off 1 shot, 1,540. You rarely see those sort of shots unless they're an ammo rack or a tank-on-tank hit. But yeah, that guy was really burning. So well done, Bob. Nice game. 3 medals. Yep, not bad. Only a second class though. It's a pity. It means that you have to really go some if you want to get an ace tanker in the FV3805. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, please. And thanks for watching.